Hello and welcome back to channel CodeX. This is your host Afzal and you're watching channel CodeX. So this is my first live stream. I welcome you all to CodeX. If you have not subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe the channel because I'm going to upload more of live stream in future. So today we're going to talk about one of the interesting topic, REST integration. So today we'll see how to integrate REST API inside Flutter application. All right, so as I told you, so I'll be calling the API, get the JSON, parse it and bind it to the list view. So these 4 or 5 steps are there and I think it will finish up in 30 to 45 minutes. So it's not going to be a very long stream. So because it's as I told you, for new members that I'm doing it for the first time. So we'll learn from each other a little bit. And let me, you guys are still there. Yes, we are clear and visible. Thank you so much for feedback. So I'm clear and visible. So let's go ahead and create new project. To start a new project in Visual Studio Code, what you do is you code Command Shift and P, and that will fire this prompt here, and there you can select new project. So I'm going to say news demo live stream. All right, and this I'm going to save inside the same folder. Anywhere you can save it. Just a little bit of initial demo, like how to do shortcuts, because what happens when we do live stream, we learn a lot of blank application. So first thing I do when I create any application in Flutter, I don't really like this template, so it's full of comments. So what I do is delete these comment lines first. So I'm going to remove these comments from the main my app. So this my app is the root of your application, as you all know. That's a very basic thing. And what I'm going to do is delete this entire home page. So I'm going to select all and delete it. Okay, perfect. Let me see just today's REST API. I hope you people will enjoy it. So what I have done so far is deleted this page, and I'm going to go to library folder again and create a folder called pages. It's a good idea to organize your pages, your library files in a organized manner. So I create pages always as a folder, and then inside there I'm going to declare homepage.dart. All right, and let me just import material which we are going to use, and you can dial in a shortcut for stateful widget, write STF and press tab. So you got the stateful widget and name it as homepage. Perfect. So let me tell you, yesterday I was like no time. So we got the blank page over here, and the same page I'm going to use inside main instead of this my home page. All right, so here we have our home page. Our application is fine, there are no bugs. So I'm gonna run it to see inside my simulator. Okay. All right, so our project is building. It's fairly simple. It's just a blank page it's going to be, but we just want to see that it's building properly or not. Perfect. We have the black page because we have only a container. So let me go ahead and quickly define a scaffold so we have something to look at. Now in a scaffold I'm going to say app bar first, and we'll define empty app bar just for now, and body as container. And we have something nice to look at. So we have a basic page over there, and that's the beauty of Flutter. You just save it and you have it in front of you. Now what I'm going to do is inside this body, or let me define a title as well. So I want a text to be as title and say news app. All right, it's fairly simple. So inside this container, inside the body of the scaffold, I'm going to define a list view which will hold the data from REST API. So what I need in container is a child element and there I will just say list view. Now I have another tutorial on list view where I have talked about what are the different type of list view Flutter provides us. There's a builder, there's a separator, there's custom, and all sort of different list view. So what we have to use in different scenarios. So for this scenario where we are going to fetch number of items from the server, and this can be a big number as well or infinite number, we keep on scrolling, so list view.builder is going to be suitable here. So I'm going to use list view.builder, and it uses item builder. Perfect. And in item builder we can pass context and snapshot, not context and index. And how you come to know that, to which parameter it takes, just point your cursor on item builder and it will tell you what parameters you need. So it takes a binding context, so I have defined it as context, and it takes an index which is an integer. All right, so list view, it also needs, the builder also needs one more parameter, that is item count, that we are going to fetch it from the server, so we can skip it for now. And here I'm going to return container, very simple list view, and this container, to show up, I will give it some random height width. So I say 100 pixel in height, and color also let me provide. So we got this list view over here. Let me check whether, all right, so this container is there, my list view has no item, so I'm just going to, fine, let's leave it now for at this point, and let's start with our API integration. So again, for that I'm going to create a new folder. So I'll say inside library, we have to work inside library, and I'm going to create a new folder called services, and let's create a new class. I'll say API manager. Yeah, API manager will work. Let's define API underscore manager client, and with the get method of that we're gonna consume the data. So let me say, for as of now, void get news. All right, just keep it simple, and I need a HTTP client to work with. So Flutter has inbuilt HTTP client, you can just type HTTP client like that, but I like to work with the HTTP client package, which is this one right over here. This is developed by .dev team, so you can fairly rely on that. It has 100% popularity, 100% pop point, 110 pop points, and a lot of likes, so you can rely on that. Go to installing and copy this line from here and paste it to pubspec YAML. So let me tell you, whoever have joined recently, we are working on the REST API, and now what I'm doing is using HTTP package to call that API. So I have included that package inside my project. Now I can close this right here, and let's just create an instance of HTTP client, and let me just copy this code from here. We don't have to do hard work. Okay, and I will say HTTP client. So we got the client with us. Now using this client we can call get request. It's that simple. Now here will go our URL. So what I'm using is this news API. It's free of cost. You have to generate your API key if you want to integrate for yourself, and this is the JSON it's gonna give. So I'm using a Walmart version, which is this line from here, and paste inside the get method. So this is going to call to the API, but we need API key, so I'll just paste my API key real quick. And instead of, what I'll do to separate, as we are talking about the separation of logic and separation of code, so what we can do, instead of pasting this URL over here, we can create another file. So let me create a constants file, constants folder. In there I'll create strings. So let me name it as strings dot perfect class strings. Here we will define all the strings which we are going to use throughout the project. So that way, whenever we want to change any URL, we can change it at one place. And let me say static string news URL, and here go our URL. Perfect. So let me change the API key. Just a moment. Let me show the device as well. Okay, we have the client over here. We are calling the get request, and instead of putting the URL right inside get method, I will say strings dot, okay, and what is the name? Strings dot news URL. So let me resolve this. Perfect. So now we are calling get request, and at this point we will get data from the server. So let's catch the data inside a response variable, and let me check the size type of this. It says future of response. So this is going to get data from HTTP client in a future. So we can use await over here, and to use await you need to use async. Let me know if okay, you guys are suggesting me where I'm making mistake. Thank you for that. So because we are using await, let me use async keyword. Perfect. This is going fine. Because of this light, I'm actually sweating, and I cannot even turn my AC on because the noise of my AC, it will just ruin the video. So I don't want that. All right. So what we have as of now is the HTTP client calling a get request and fetching the response. All right. What to do next? From this response, we have to do a check over here, because it's not necessary that every time we will get a positive response. We may get a failure, we may get internal server error. So what we have to do next is check for the status code, and if it's 200, which means a success status, then we have to do our next step. All right, so if it's success status, then we have to read the response body. So response dot body, and this is the place where we get entire JSON. This JSON which you can see over here, this JSON will be there inside a body of response. So let me just hold this inside a variable JSON string. Perfect. I think we are good till now. And with this JSON string, we are going to pass and parse this data and show it to the UI. But to parse it, we need to convert it to a model, right? To bind it to UI, we need a model, something to bind with. So what we have to do, convert this JSON to a model. And for that, I have a really nice tool. It's called app.quickttype. You can paste your JSON over here, and it will give you the model in Dart, C#, Java, and all the different formats. It's very essential for developers. I use all the time, so I'll recommend you. And let's go ahead and copy this JSON. So we have this this time I'm not gonna make a mistake. All right, copy everything and then paste inside this one. And this time it parsed properly. So this is how you do it, guys. Once you have the JSON data with you, you don't have to do this difficult job. There are so many applications out there, but QuickType really works for me. So it will give you from this JSON over here. Let me show you what it looks like. So this is the JSON we got from the API call. Congratulations, by the way, that was the first step, and congratulations to me as well, because that worked in first shot. So we are able to fetch the remote data and the JSON came to our application. That's a very good thing. So let me show you stack, not JSON viewer. Yes, let me show you this JSON after formatting. So this is what it fetched from the server. So there are multiple articles there, and it has the total result count. It's not actually 769. They're only giving 20 results, if I'm not wrong. Yep, there are 20 elements here. You can visualize that. And these articles I'm going to bind to a list view. So let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. It worked, man. I was not expecting in the first go, but yep, good thing happening. So now next step, what will be the next step? Any suggestion, any feedback, anyone, any expert over here? Live stream is better, but upload the video as well. Of course, I'm going to edit this video once I finish live stream, and I'm going to upload a video. Love the live stream. There is a tutorial on YouTube by a channel, Riva Academy, fetch WordPress post. You should do live stream. Thank you so much that you people are liking it. It increased my confidence level a bit. So that's a great thing to hear that you people are enjoying it. So, and you people are like, you're the best judge. You can tell me whether it's good or bad. So far we have fetched the JSON string and we have the model ready with us, which is here inside QuickType.io. That's an online tool. You can straight copy paste entire thing. So I'm just going to select all of this, copy it, and inside your source file, let's create one more folder to be organized. Okay, models. And here inside models folder, I'm going to create a new file called news info. Perfect. So let me tell you honestly, with your feedback, my confidence level got increased a bit. So now I'm a little bit nervous, not that nervous as in the beginning. So thank you so much for that. And what is wrong here? Okay, I didn't provided the Dart extension to this. My bad. Okay, Dart. So now it knows that it's a Dart file. Perfect. And let me save this as well. So we have the model ready with us. This hard job is done by QuickType, so appreciate that. Really, if you are liking that, you can contribute to any free source. This is how people work in like free open source projects. So what we are going to do next is, somebody joined, somebody subscribed. Welcome Frank Thamel, just subscribed. Thank you so much for subscribing. I hope you will stick and watch this entire live stream. Welcome to our channel. And let me tell you guys that I have created a clock application series on YouTube. That's one of my best videos so far. You should watch that. There's a lot of like in that series I have created so far 5 tutorials, and that are one of the best for me at least. And I have talked about list view, I have talked about provider, the custom paint. You can create a clock hole, so you can check that of course. And that's a great playlist. I will put link in the description for clock application playlist that you can check once you're finished with this one. So where we are, we have fetched JSON string so far. So sorry to lose the track. So now we have to convert this string into a JSON map basically. So JSON is basically a key value pair. So there's a map happening, but this is a pure string. So how we do that, I will say, let me say something like JSON map. Okay, and then we use a JSON library. Okay, this is an inbuilt library inside Flutter dot decode, and then here you provide the JSON string which you just fetched. So the second step, which was to map our string to a JSON object, is done. Now this JSON we can convert to the model which we have generated and that's like final step of API integration. Once you convert the model, this model is available inside your app, inside your page to utilize, and there you can take it forward. So I think we have already crossed 39 minutes. I'll target to finish this tutorial in next 20 minutes because I was targeting 1 hour of live stream. All right, JSON map is there. Now with this JSON map, what I can do is, let me open the model itself, and here if you see this factory method, so it creates a news model from the JSON and it accepts map of string.dynamic. So it accepts a map which we just created and it will create a news model. So this we are going to use over here. So I'll say news model dot from JSON and it will accept JSON map. All right, so what it's going to give is news model. Okay, so now at this point we got the news model also. This we have to return to the calling page. So what I'm going to do, so I'm doing it a reverse way so that you can understand each and every line what I'm doing for the particular reason. Because instead of like starting from void, instead if I have started with the future of news model, you will be thinking what I'm doing and why am you doing that. So any method, it starts with void. Once you have any return type, like once you are building for yourself, you can write it, but for explanation I go reverse way. I write something and then I change why I did that. So instead of returning void, this get news will return future of news model. All right, and here I'm going to declare a news model, or what I'm doing, where news model equal to null. So initially we'll say that news model is null because nothing has happened to this one so far. And once we got the success response, we got the parsing done, we got the mapping done, then in this news model we are going to assign this data. And finally we have to return news model. Perfect. So if it doesn't go inside the if statement, it will still return this null value to the calling page. So there we can handle the null data, and if it's returning a successful status, then it will return the actual data. And let's do one more thing real quick. I'll just wrap this everything inside a try catch statement, because network call and this sort of thing can fail at any point of time. So it's better to write inside try catch and say return news model for all the exceptions. Now you can here be specific what type of exception happening, but I'm just accepting any exception, right? So I think we have completed the API manager part so far. Let me check the comments if anyone is writing anything. Do live stream once a week. It helps to connect with the viewers and also good for your channel growth. Thank you so much, Samir. But just prepare program once before you start live. Will this video be available in future or you remove? Yes, it will be available in my YouTube video. I will just trim it in between. Wherever I have made mistake, I'm going to remove that and upload as a fresh video. And yes, that's awesome video playlist. Thank you, Ranjit Reddy. You have seen the clock application. Yes, he will upload it on channel, he said. Yes, thank you so much. So I'm going to put this code on GitHub for sure, and this is like a very simple application. Just I created 2-3 folders. There's just one method, this method which you see, API manager, it's doing all the job. So could you explain this factory thing? Yes, of course, factory thing, not like factory concept. I'm going to explain what it does. It will create a different like say for example, there are different ways to create instance of your class. One simple way we use is a new class name. That's one of the way. And there are factory methods which depending on the different needs, it will create a different type of object. So you can pass different so it like just like this example here, it creates from the JSON. So it will take the JSON and create all the properties which are there, the member function, the members of the class. So it's going to accept the JSON file, iterate through it, create all the members, and then it will provide you with the new object. So factory is like whenever you demand something, the factory will produce it and give it back to you. It's that simple. And now I have subscribed. Thank you so much, Kendi Jacqueline. Exactly. All right. Now back to home page. What we are going to do here, we called and we fetched in response, and this response I did just to call this get news API. Okay, what we need to do inside our home page, we have to create a future variable. So we'll create a variable inside our home page, call this API from the init of the page, and once the data is loaded, we have to populate the list view. It's that simple. So let me say that I want a future of news model, and I will name it as news model. And once you define this underscore, I was not aware of it, so let me tell you guys, in Dart, once you define underscore, this means it's a private variable. You cannot find this outside the class, right? So this news model is a feature of news model, and this I'm going to get from here, API manager.getNews. All right, pretty simple. So we are getting the news, assigning it to here, and now comes the interesting part of this API consumption. Feature builder. I created one of the tutorial, and because it was so bad in my early days, there was so much noise in that video, the video was going in different direction, I was talking about something else, so I finally deleted to, it should not impact my other videos as well, so I deleted that video from my YouTube channel. But I did one video on feature builder, so I'm going to do it again in a nutshell. Let me show you what we are going to do here is this data news model, we are calling the API manager and getting inside news model, and that depends on the future. So we have to write a future builder, and once the data receives, then we have to populate the rest of the UI. So let me, excuse me for that. Let me wrap this list view inside future builder. So you hit command dot inside Visual Studio and say wrap with the widget. So that's a tip over there. You don't have to wrap everything and find out where the braces ended. You just write, you just dial in command and dot, and it will give you a widget, and that you can use for any widget, nothing's particular. So future builder I'm going to use, and that accepts its own parameters like future. What is the future of this? So I will say news model, which we just created over there. That's a future. Next live stream on Flutter auth using an app, not Firebase. Avilash VR. Of course, Avilash, I'll put that in my to-do list and I will plan for that. It's a really good topic. OAuth is really good topic, and it's in demand. Like many project, many application, they are using OAuth for login. Not many, I think every application is using nowadays. OAuth 2.0 is the current standard. So let me get back to tutorial. So I'm using a future builder. Inside that we have to specify two parameters. One is the future, one is the builder. The name itself specifies that. So future is going to be the news model. Whenever the data is going to come in the news model, that time it will get instantiated. And the builder, it takes context and snapshot. So whenever data comes in the future, it will wait for that, and once it's there, it's gonna instantiate. All right, so this child I'm going to remove now, and this list view, it's ending over here. And let's say return list view. Perfect. So what I'm doing, instead of returning child as instead of putting list view as a child of container, I'm putting list view as a builder method of future builder. So whenever there's a data, that time we will build this. But there's a but. What we have to do in builder, it may happen that the data which comes is null, or there's no data, or there's something happening on the server side. So we have to be future ready. For that we have to specify if snapshot dot has data. So if there's a data in it, as I told you that it's not always the case that you will get 200 response from the server. You may get 500, 404, and there are a lot of responses. So it's always Python Flask with Flutter auth for OAuth. Yes, thank you so much for suggestion. Probably I'll do a video on that. So let's keep that in my to-do list. So all right, so we are talking about snapshot.hasData. So what I'm doing in builder is checking for this condition. If it has data, like it's a validation thing, if it has data, then return a list view. If it doesn't have, you can write an else condition. Even that is not needed, because in if we are returning, so else is not required, but we can say return circular progress indicator. That's a long name, right? So data, if the data is available, return a list view. If it's not, then return a circular progress indicator. Let's see our simulator. It's being long that we haven't seen. So this circular indicator is rotating over there. Let's make it center. I'm going to wrap it with the center widget and it will come in center. Perfect. Let's restart our application and see what we have. We don't need breakpoint. Remove it. So we got this red screen, which means the list view is loaded, and we got the initial loader as well. So our application is behaving as expected. So here comes the interesting part, the UI design. Flutter is known for its design. So now we are going to get our hands dirty with the design. So in this container, I'm going to write a child, which is what it will be, a row, and children. Okay, there's nothing. So as you have seen the thumbnail, I'm going to create a basic of news API, a news view. So this will be a simple list view. So first thing inside the row I want is image, and where this image will come from, network. There are different type of image available. Even if you're a basic in like beginner in Flutter, asset folder, if you have directly the resources there in your project, you can use image.asset. If you're having a network path, then use image.network. It's fairly simple, like nothing to specify. Check GitHub for sandwich or not sandwich project. It is about image processing with Python. Thank you, Ranjit Reddy, for replying, Mr. Shankar. All right, so here what network image we will show? We need an object, right? From where? So remember, we fetched this list over here. So each article here inside, let me show you over here. So each article you see over here, that is coming inside our builder one by one. So it's iterating through this list index with index. So it's going to be 0, 1 and iterating like that. Let's do one more thing real quick, that this list view needs item count. So now we have the data. We can say item count snapshot. Oh my goodness. Snapshot dot data dot. All right. Okay. Now here's an interesting point which I have discovered now. Now if you see in the data, it's saying dynamic and it's not giving me the list of articles. So this is very important. I have wasted a lot of time when I was learning the Flutter, that how I can access my data, my properties, which is this model, basically this model, how can I access from there, because it's not giving after dot. So for that you have to specify future builder. That's an important thing. In future builder, you have to specify what data you are expecting. So I'm going to say news model, and then if you say dot over here, it will give all the items available in that model. So I'm going to say articles dot length. So this is the length of my list view. I hope I'm explaining it well. Okay, so now we have the length with us. What we need for item builder, when we are constructing each item, let me create a variable for each item. So I'm going to say where article is equal to snapshot dot data dot articles and index. So every time this item builder is going to iterate, it will give me the unique article, 0th article, 1st article, 2nd article, and that way I can populate my list view, right? So I'm a little bit worried that for that. So we are going to fetch the URL from article dot what we have, URL to image. Perfect. If you are not familiar with the image, you can find it here. It's really simple, like inside there you can see all the different URL. This URL is for the article. The second URL which you see, URL to image, is for actual image URL. So that we are going to use it. it's all like scattered. There's no aspect ratio, there's nothing. So what I'm going to do is wrap this image inside a card and inside aspect ratio. For that, there's already code I have written for that. Let me use that real quick. So let me go to GitHub, my repository. You can mark the star for repository you like. In Flutter Universe application, if you have seen the tutorial, in the second page, the detail page, I'm using a card which is rounded corner and with aspect ratio. So that I'm going to utilize. You don't have to write each time. You have to do smart work, right? So for that, I'm using exactly this one. So this is the card. I'm not sure. I'm going to copy extra. Yes, this is the card I'm using in my universe project, Flutter Universe, if you have seen, and that I'm going to copy paste inside here. So just copy this and remove the return keyword, and this, it also uses the image.network. So I'm just going to use this image from here and comment it out. We don't need anymore. Now if you see, they're all structured, they're all in, you know, one aspect ratio, 1:1. They are rounded square and nice. It's looking nice, right? So you got the idea, right? In other things, and we will wrap the video for now, because the whole agenda was to communicate with the REST API, get the data, get the parsing done. That is done. So inside the row, first thing we used is the card, which is this one, and this row is empty. So I'm going to use a column, and inside that we'll have a title, description, and the date time. So let me go real quick. And why I'm opening OBS, need Visual Studio Code. So I can say article dot title and show you guys real quick. Here we got the title. Don't worry about this line. It looks like a police line that somebody did a crime or something. So there's an article, there's a description, and actually in Flutter it's a crime that you're you know, overflowed with the pixels, and that actually it's a good thing that it tells you upfrontly that there's something going to look bad on your application. It will not be there once you go live, like once you release a production build and signed application, this yellow line will not be there, but of course this is telling now that this is going to crop in future. So that's a good thing over there. And so we added title, we added description. Let me refresh once again. Now how we can fix this yellow line? It's very simple, fairly simple. This column, we are going to say that it's flexible, and the way we can do it, command dot and say flexible. Gone. But still in the bottom there is overflow happening. So again, what we can do next is, to this description we can say that we want overflow to be ellipses, so that what it will do at end of the line, it will add dots. So let me show you how real quick. So there are dots added at the end of the line, and we can say max line. There's something called max lines. Yes, so 3 lines of max, or maybe 2 lines for description. That's enough. And still there's overflow going on, so let's provide overflow to title as well. And this is just extra thing I'm doing for the demonstration. Like, it's not that we consume the API and then it's not like that. I'm going to make it a little bit nice so that it's visual thing. We consumed an API, we written a news application in 1 hour in front of your eyes. All right, so now this yellow lines is gone. Congratulations. I used to keep that clap sound in my YouTube videos. Write down in the comment section if you have been shocked with that clap sound, because many people have commented that when they hear that clap sound, they turn around, they remove their headphones, and they think, who is clapping? That's a 3D sound from iMovie, and I use in almost all of my videos. So I need to put a clap sound over here because this is almost completed UI. We need a little bit of UI lift up. So for the title, I can say, you know what I'm going to do, provide style. So text style, and let me increase the font size a bit. Let me say font weight to be bold, and yes, the title is looking fairly good. And let me read out comment as well. Can fix by adjustment the container too. Hope all are safe and healthy in this time. Yeah, even I wish the same. Here I'm living in UAE, I'm working in UAE basically, so situation is under control. That is a good thing. We are going out, but with the precautions, with gloves and mask on. So take care, guys. So this UI is quite bit ready, but I'm not satisfied yet. So what I'm gonna do, what you see here is the column has things center. So that is a by default behavior of column. I have a nice tutorial on Flutter layout where I've explained about rows, column, container, list view, and stack. That is the 5 essential component I have explained in my video. I'll put link in the description. Make sure to check Flutter layout, basic of layout, something like that. 5 important widgets that I have uploaded on my channel. So that will cover entire basic of this alignments and all this stuff. So I'm going to say cross axis alignment. Why cross? Because the column goes vertical and we are talking about horizontal alignment. So cross alignment will go to start, and here we have it. Everything, the title is starting from the left. That's perfect. Inside our container, let's give a margin, and I'll say constant edge insets all 8 pixel. So we got a nice spacing, we got a room to breathe for this one, and in between this card which holds an image and this flexible widget which holds these items, we can have a little bit of spacing. That's too tight, so I can say size box and width of, let's say 16 pixel, if not more. Yep. So that's all I have to share in this video. We have 20 news articles in front of us. It's using list view builder. Everything is like recycled. It's not like your all elements are there on the memory heap. It's recycling those elements, whichever visible, that's only there in the memory. And we have this fairly nice news article from where? From this website which is called newsapi.org, and we are using Wall Street Journal articles. So I hope you people enjoyed the tutorial. I'm going to put this video in the form of normal YouTube video. I hope you people will give a like, comment, and thumbs up, and I'm so glad that you people sticked around this video. This was my first stream, as I've informed you guys, and it was really nice. I got the confidence, so we can have the stream regular basis, like once in a week, and once in a week I can upload on YouTube regular video. So that way we can do. Write your feedback in the comment section, the live chat. I'm really glad that you people are here. Thank you so much for joining. I will see you guys next week, hopefully, and that's it. See you soon.